Zainab Javadli, 29 years old, wife of the nephew of the ruler of Dubai. With a trembling voice and eyes filled with panic, she revealed her 9 months in hell, where she was stripped of her freedom and received no help whatsoever. Even more frightening, the Dubai royal family controlled her parents and plotted to take her children away from her. Although the 2 videos were quickly deleted from Instagram, an international human rights organization managed to preserve and upload them to YouTube. Since then, all contact with Zainab has been completely cut off, leaving her family and friends deeply concerned about her fate and the well-being of her 3 young children. Few know that before entering her royal marriage, Zainab Javadli, born in 1991, was an outstanding gymnast from Azerbaijan with impressive European championship titles. 5 years before the tragedy unfolded, she married Sheikh Saeed, a powerful figure in the royal family, a successful businessman, and a talented equestrian marksman. What seemed like a dream marriage had brought them 3 children, but behind the happy family photos lay a harsh reality. Zainab was one of 3 wives of Sheikh Saeed, who had a total of 11 children. By early 2020, Zainab decided to leave the palace, separate from her 43-year-old husband, and move her 3 children into a private villa. But just 9 months later, she posted 2 desperate videos on Instagram, pleading for help and exposing her captivity, claiming, "There is no law here, no justice, no food, no water, nothing at all." According to her friends, from the very beginning of her marriage, Zainab endured extreme control from her husband. Fearing that her daughters would also fall victim to manipulation within the royal family, she always sought to escape their control. However, all her efforts were blocked by the family's fierce opposition. Since posting the 2 desperate videos, Zainab and her children have completely disappeared from the public eye. To this day, no one knows where they are or what their condition is. But what is even more concerning is that Zainab's story is not an isolated case. She is just one of many women who have fallen victim to the dark secrets hidden deep within the walls of the magnificent Dubai palace. To understand this situation better, we need to learn about Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, often simply known as Rashid Al Maktoum. Al Maktoum ascended to the throne in 2006. He is not only the ruler of Dubai, but also holds 2 other powerful positions: Vice President and Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates, UAE. At the age of 72, Mohammed has built a vast empire with 6 wives and over 30 children. His first wife is Hind bint Maktoum bin Juma Al Maktoum, the senior wife of Dubai. She is an enigmatic figure, rarely appearing in public and seldom mentioned in the media. Hind, the senior wife, is a cousin of Rashid Al Maktoum and married him at the age of 17. Over the course of their 25-year marriage, Hind has borne Rashid Al Maktoum 12 children, averaging a new baby every 1.5 years. This not only strengthened her position within the royal family, but also raised questions about the practice of consanguinity that has become deeply embedded in the culture of the Dubai royal family. While Hind, the senior wife, remains a silent figure in the palace, Princess Haya bint Al Hussein, Rashid Al Maktoum's second wife, and a princess of Jordan, is quite the opposite. She often appeared prominently at international events alongside the king, shining like a star. However, that spotlight faded after a shocking divorce, which we will explore in detail later. Among the 6 wives of Rashid Al Maktoum, only Hind, the senior wife, and Princess Haya hold the title of Queen Consort. The others are simply regarded as mistresses, and their children are not officially recognized by the royal family. However, in March 2018, a shocking video appeared on YouTube. In the video, Sheikha Latifa of Dubai, with a worried expression on her face, revealed her bold escape plan and her fear of what would happen to her if it failed. She stated that if people were watching this video, it meant she was in danger. Latifa is the 3rd daughter of Rashid Al Maktoum, born to an unnamed mistress from Morocco. Though not favored like her other siblings, she grew up in luxury, living in a palace with over 40 rooms, 100 servants, a private stadium, a swimming pool, a spa center, and even a horse racing track designed for her passion. Latifa's collection of the world's most expensive purebred horses is a dream for many. However, that lavish life cannot conceal the painful hidden corners of her existence. In reality, Latifa's life in the royal family was like being in a gilded cage. Every aspect of her life was under strict surveillance. She wasn't allowed to make decisions about what she did, meet friends, travel, or pursue higher education. Even visiting close friends' homes was prohibited. This suffocating control made Latifa feel like her life was facing an impenetrable wall. At the age of 17, she made her first escape attempt, driving to the Oman border in hopes of breaking free from her family's control. However, the plan quickly failed due to the harsh crackdown by the royal forces. After being sedated, Latifa was taken to the nearest detention center before being returned to the Dubai palace. During that time, she endured brutal beatings, was denied basic medical care, and lived in such deprivation that even essentials like a toothbrush or toothpaste became luxuries. Yet, these terrifying experiences couldn't extinguish the fierce desire for freedom in Latifa's heart. That yearning for freedom continued to burn within her for many years as she silently planned her second escape, an audacious mission straight out of a Hollywood action movie. 3 years after her first attempt, Rashid Al Maktoum gradually loosened his control over his daughter, believing that the harsh punishments she had received were enough to deter her. It was during this time that Latifa met two key allies who would play crucial roles in her escape plan. The first person to help Latifa was Tina Jauhiainen, a martial arts trainer from Finland. Tina had witnessed firsthand the inequality and tragic fates of many women in Dubai. She shared that in Dubai, women do not have the right to refuse relations with their husbands unless granted permission. In cases of divorce, the husband is typically prioritized for custody of the children, which further weakens the woman's position. These experiences inspired Tina to become Latifa's steadfast ally in the bold escape plan. The second ally was Hervé Jaubert, a former French spy with dual U.S. and French citizenship. After leaving the French Navy, Jaubert transitioned to the submarine business. Sheikh Rashid Al Maktoum had been a VIP customer of his, but their relationship soured quickly when Jaubert discovered that the expensive submarine he had sold to the Sheikh was of poor quality. Feeling betrayed, Sheikh Rashid issued a nationwide manhunt for Jaubert. However, using his military training and professional diving skills, Jaubert made an extraordinary sea escape, fleeing Dubai and eventually making his way to the United States, where he was acquitted. A few years later, he returned to Dubai to continue his business. In 2009, Jaubert published a book titled Escape from Dubai, recounting his daring escape. The book deeply inspired Latifa, reigniting her desire for freedom. Latifa contacted Jaubert urgently through email, begging him to help her plan her escape. With the support of Tina and Jaubert, the bold escape plan was set in motion. Latifa, disguised with Tina, drove to the coast and then moved by jet ski to meet Noah, who was waiting offshore. According to the plan, the boat would take them to India, from where Latifa would fly to the United States to seek political asylum. Latifa's plan shared many similarities with Jaubert's previous escape. However, there was one thing Jaubert had not anticipated. This time, the person escaping was not a businessman, but a princess. If successful, Latifa's escape would not only be a blow to the honor of the Dubai royal family, but could also severely damage the international reputation of both Dubai and the UAE. Rashid Al Maktoum would certainly not let this happen. Nevertheless, in 2017, before carrying out the escape plan, Latifa recorded a video for a trusted lawyer, along with a directive. If I lose contact, this video must be made public. Everything was meticulously prepared, and on February 24, 2018, Latifa pretended to go shopping and have dinner with Tina to leave her home. After meeting up, they changed into clothes that had been prearranged and drove straight to the coast of Oman. There, they took a photo to mark the significant moment. This was also the first time Latifa met Jaubert in person. Jaubert quickly took the two women aboard the boat, Noah, which had been waiting, and they began their journey toward India. 8 days later, when the boat was just 49.71 miles away from the coast of India, with freedom seemingly within reach, they were suddenly stopped by a massive force of Indian and UAE warships. According to Joubert and Tina, the Noah was surrounded by 5 warships and several armed helicopters. Smoke bombs covered the deck, and Tina described the scene as chaotic, like something from an action movie. In a state of extreme fear, Sheikha Latifah trembled and whispered, "They're coming to get me! They found me!" The sound of machine guns tore through the chaotic atmosphere, and all 3 were blindfolded, restrained, and dragged onto the deck. Without begging, Latifah simply told the soldiers, "Don't take me home. Let me leave right here." Her request, of course, was not honored. Latifah was sedated with tranquilizers to be subdued. After being escorted back to Dubai, Tina and Joubert were detained and threatened for 3 weeks before being released. Since then, no one has seen Sheikha Latifah again. However, the story did not end there. Latifah's video, filled with desperate pleas and accusations, quickly spread on social media, attracting international attention. By the end of March, Tina and Joubert held a press conference in London, publicly revealing the full truth about Latifah's escape and her subsequent detention. This event immediately stirred up global media coverage. Despite this, the response from the Dubai royal family sparked outrage. They made no denial or explanation, but coldly declared that this was a family matter, and that Latifah was not the first royal family member to attempt to escape from Dubai. Previously, in 2000, Sheikha Shamsa, Latifah's older sister at the age of 18, made a similar escape. Shamsa was known as a beautiful daughter who was dearly loved by the ruler. She unexpectedly escaped from the close supervision of her attendants during a trip with her father to London for a horse race. The trip took place in June that year, and just a month later, Shamsa disappeared. 2 theories have been proposed regarding the reason for Shamsa's escape. First, she wanted to pursue higher education but faced strong opposition from her father, Rashid Al Maktoum, who did not want his daughter to attend university. Second, Shamsa may have been unhappy with a political marriage arranged by the family. Regardless of the true reason, the bold escape only lasted a few weeks. On August 19, 2000, at a bar on the streets of Cambridge, Shamsa was captured by 4 strong men with weapons. She was sedated and immediately taken back to Dubai. For the next 25 years, Shamsa completely disappeared from the public eye. In her desperate video, Latifah revealed that Shamsa was being held in a medical prison under strict 24-hour surveillance by nurses. 8 years after Shamsa was abducted, Latifah finally had the chance to meet her sister. According to Latifah, Shamsa was in a state of mental confusion. Her eyes were vacant, and she needed assistance to walk. Latifah believed that her sister had been treated with psychiatric medication for a long period. Despite Shamsa's tragic fate, Latifah herself would face similar dangers. By December 2018, Princess Haya bint Hussein, the second wife of Sheikh Rashid Al Maktoum, arranged for Mary Robinson, former President of Ireland and former UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, to visit Latifah. A photo of Latifah and Mary Robinson together was later released to prove that Latifah was safe and in good health. However, in the photo, Latifah appeared lifeless. The Dubai authorities explained that she was under psychological pressure after recent events and confirmed that her escape was the result of incitement and abduction, not her personal will. At that time, Princess Haya bint Hussein was still actively defending Dubai's reputation on the international stage. She stated that she would do everything in her power to ensure Latifah would not be harmed or exploited. However, what Haya witnessed regarding Latifah's case, along with other pressures and conflicts within the royal family, led to a world-shocking decision. Less than a year later, Haya escaped from Dubai, becoming the first woman in the royal family to successfully flee. Princess Haya's escape not only opened a new chapter in the mysterious story of the Dubai royal family, but also led to the divorce of the century between her and Sheikh Rashid Al Maktoum, an event that garnered widespread attention around the world. To better understand the bold decision of Princess Haya bint Hussein, we need to look into her life. Haya was not only the second wife of Rashid Al Maktoum, but also a princess of Jordan, the beloved daughter of the late King Hussein, and Aliya Bahauddin Tukhan. As the firstborn, she was also the sister of Ali bin Hussein. In 1971, King Hussein married Aliya, a Palestinian woman from a diplomatic family, who was 13 years younger than him. Their marriage was filled with happiness but was tragically short-lived. In 1977, Aliyah Bahauddin Tukan died in a plane crash before the age of 30, leaving a deep sorrow for King Hussein and the family. Growing up with many similarities to her late mother, Haya became the apple of her father's eye, King Hussein. The king frequently took his daughter on his travels, and Haya received a Western-style education from a young age. She graduated from the University of Oxford in 1995 with a bachelor's and master's degree in politics, philosophy, and economics. In addition to her outstanding academic achievements, Haya is fluent in multiple languages, including English, French, Spanish, Italian, German, and Russian. Not just limited to academics, Princess Haya had a deep passion for sports, especially horseback riding. This passion led her to become a professional equestrian, representing Jordan in many international competitions. Haya's progressive education, modern thinking, and free lifestyle were in stark contrast to the conservative ideologies of the Dubai royal family. This made her a unique figure in her marriage to Rashid Al Maktoum. On February 7, 1999, King Hussein passed away, leaving an irreplaceable void in Princess Haya's heart. However, not long after, she found empathy in Rashid Al Maktoum, a man she saw as a reflection of her father. Rashid was not just a friend, but like an older brother, always protective of Haya. They first met in 2001 at a horseback riding competition in Spain when Rashid was still the crown prince of Dubai. Their shared passion for the noble sport brought them closer together. Over 3 years later, in 2004, Haya and Rashid Al Maktoum married, despite a 25-year age difference. At the time, Haya was 30 years old and Rashid was 55. Their love remained strong. Among Rashid Al Maktoum's wives, Princess Haya held a special position, not bound by the strict rules of the royal family. She was free to appear in public without wearing a headscarf and actively participated in diplomatic activities. This marriage was not only of personal significance, but also played an important role in strengthening diplomatic relations between Jordan and the UAE. Haya's Hashemite family is considered one of the most noble bloodlines in the Middle East, often referred to as the Holy Family, which helped enhance the image of the Dubai royal family on the international stage. Rashid also showed special attention to the 2 children he had with Haya, partly because of her prestigious position and partly due to his deep affection for her. However, in April 2019, less than a year after the international attention on Latifa's case, Princess Haya secretly fled with her 2 children to the United Kingdom. They took refuge in a luxurious villa in West London, which she had purchased in 2017. Shortly after, Haya officially applied for political asylum and filed for divorce in the High Court of London. Princess Haya's decision to divorce was believed to have stemmed from a serious reason. Rashid and the Dubai royal family intended to marry off their daughter, Al Jalila, who was only 11 at the time, to Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, 35, in order to strengthen the political alliance between the 2 countries. Crown Prince Salman, the youngest son of the King of Saudi Arabia, is known as one of the most powerful and successful figures of his generation. However, with her Western mindset, Haya could not accept the idea of her daughter becoming a victim of an arranged marriage. Once news of the divorce became public, Princess Haya received strong support from her younger brother, Ali bin Hussein. He not only publicly defended his sister, but also personally traveled to London to assist her in the legal proceedings. In contrast, King Abdullah II of Jordan, Haya's half-brother, initially remained silent, possibly due to concerns over the potential negative impact on the economic relationship between Jordan and Dubai. However, due to the urgent situation of his sister and 2 nieces, as well as to protect the honor of the Jordanian family, King Abdullah II eventually provided the necessary support for Haya to seek asylum and be protected in the UK. To protect her interests, Princess Haya hired Fiona Shackleton, a famous royal divorce lawyer known for handling high-profile divorce cases, to lead her legal team. Shackleton's reputation, having been named Steel Magnolia by Queen Elizabeth II, is a testament to her excellent legal skills and ability to turn complex cases around. Upon taking on Princess Haya's case, Fiona Shackleton immediately began searching for and collecting damaging information about Rashid. She raised a series of allegations aimed at undermining his image, from building a fence around Rashid's estate in the UK that violated building regulations, to the illegal conversion of an 18th century historic building into a horse racing track, and even his other construction projects that violated wildlife protection laws. However, these accusations were just the prelude to a bigger bombshell that Shackleton dropped. The allegations that Rashid had kidnapped and mistreated his two daughters, Shamsa and Latifa. Princess Haya is believed to have provided convincing evidence to her legal team, demonstrating the thorough preparation she had made for this legal battle. Haya's arrangement for Mary Robinson, the former president of Ireland, to visit Latifa in December 2018 can be seen as a strategic move. Since then, it seems that Haya has quietly delved deeper into the Latifa case and uncovered many dark secrets of the Dubai royal family. While the specific details have not been revealed, the continuous threats from Rashid against Haya suggest that she holds critical evidence of his misconduct toward his two daughters. The divorce between Princess Haya and Rashid not only became the most expensive divorce in UK history, but also attracted widespread attention due to the shocking allegations from both sides. One of the most notable accusations came from Rashid, who claimed that Haya had an affair with her British bodyguard, Russell Flowers, for 3 years. According to Rashid's testimony, the relationship between Princess Haya and Russell began in 2017, during a time when she publicly maintained the image of a happy marriage. Members of the Dubai royal family typically have at least 2 bodyguards, and Haya was no exception. However, the sudden firing of one of her bodyguards, along with a confidentiality agreement, raised suspicions. Notably, Haya often took Russell with her on trips, even abroad. This information quickly spread within the royal family and among Dubai officials, sparking rumors that their relationship was no longer a secret. There were reports that Haya frequently gifted Russell luxurious items, which made their relationship even more noticeable. At the time, Russell was married but divorced shortly thereafter. His ex-wife had also accused him of having an affair with a woman from the Dubai royal family, which was believed to be the main reason for the breakdown of their marriage. The tension between Princess Haya bint Hussein and Rashid reached its peak in early 2019. It may have been due to Haya's quiet investigation into the fates of the two princesses, Shamsa and Latifa, or her strong opposition to the plan of marrying their daughter off to the Saudi crown prince. Or, perhaps, it was because Rashid could no longer tolerate suspicions of infidelity, so he confronted Haya directly, saying, "You think I don't know what you're doing? I've suspected you for a long time." This tense confrontation marked the beginning of a series of events that made it impossible for Haya to remain in Dubai. Her office was sealed, her bank accounts were investigated by authorities, and she constantly received threats. Additionally, during an incident where she narrowly avoided arrest, Haya was fortunate enough to be spared by the plea of her 18-year-old son. On February 7, 2019, which coincided with the anniversary of her late father King Hussein's death, Rashid unilaterally declared his divorce from her. Many saw this as an intentional act meant to humiliate Haya, putting her in an incredibly difficult position. Under Islamic law, Sharia, which forms the basis of family law in Dubai, custody of children after a divorce typically favors the father. Haya was well aware of these disadvantages and was determined not to lose her children, nor did she want herself and her children to endure the same fate as Shamsa and Latifa. After escaping to the UK and receiving support from the Jordanian royal family, Haya participated in a series of hearings in British courts from May to July 2019. The case was officially tried in November of the same year, during which Rashid accused Haya of having an affair with her British bodyguard Russell Flowers for 3 years. However, the British court dismissed the accusation due to a lack of concrete evidence, emphasizing that proving adultery under UK law is always a challenge unless there is clear evidence of being caught in the act. On May 5, 2020, the High Court of London issued a historic ruling. Rashid was found guilty of kidnapping and violating the personal freedom of his two daughters, Shamsa and Latifa. More importantly, Princess Haya was granted custody of her children. This ruling marked a resounding victory for Haya and her legal team in the early stages of the case. The next phase of the lawsuit focused on the legal battle to divide the vast fortune of over $10 billion, making this the most expensive divorce in UK history. After more than a year, on December 21st, 2021, the High Court of London issued the final ruling. Judge Philip Moe divided the amount into two parts. Approximately $330 million for Princess Haya, with the remaining sum placed in a bank account to ensure the costs of raising and securing the two children. In total, the divorce settlement amounted to a record-breaking $730 million. This amount was actually only half of Haya's original demand. She argued that this sum was necessary to maintain the standard of living equivalent to her previous life in Dubai, including expenses for a butler, clothing, furniture, yacht, and private jet travel, and even $2.6 million for expanding the kitchen. Her lawyers succeeded in proving that these costs were entirely in line with the lavish lifestyle the princess and her children had been accustomed to. Notably, the judge revealed that Princess Haya had paid $9.2 million to individuals who had been blackmailing her staff. This amount was intended to keep secret her relationship with her British bodyguard, Russell Flowers. This secret once again exposed the hidden corners and calculations behind the glamorous facade of royal life. Princess Haya's successful escape, her obtaining custody of her children, and her victory in the asset division were largely thanks to the strong support from her family and the country of Jordan. However, Haya's case remains an exception. Most women in the Dubai royal family, and more broadly in Middle Eastern society, still face invisible barriers. Ultimately, the divorce of the century between Princess Haya bint Hussein and Rashid Al Maktoum is not only the story of the collapse of a royal marriage, but also a reflection of power, wealth, and the yearning for freedom. It reveals that even behind the velvet curtain of wealth and power, there are still hidden corners of misery and the desire to live authentically. Do you think Princess Haya bint Hussein's victory could become a turning point, offering new hope for women in the Islamic world? Or is her story just a rare exception that isn't enough to change a system that has existed for centuries?